welcome to my channel. I'm Siham and today I will teach you how to conjugate any verb in passé composé. So let's get started. What is the passé composé? The passé composé is the most important past tense in French. It corresponds to the English simple past or sometimes the past perfect. Le passé composé is used to express that something has been completed in the past, something was done a certain amount of time in the past, or a series of something was completed in the past. And to conjugate any verb in the passé composé, you should follow this grammatical form, la forme grammaticale du passé composé. As you see here, you have 3 steps. The first one is to find the subject of your sentence. The second step is to conjugate the verb être or avoir in present as an auxiliary verb. The third step is to add le participe passé, the past participle of your verb. Before we delve into this lesson, I advise you to memorize être and avoir if you don't know or if you forgot how to conjugate them in the present. So this is verb être and verb avoir in présent. Je suis, tu es, il est, nous sommes, vous êtes, and ils sont. And j'ai, tu as, il a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont. Stop the video and memorize them. Now you are ready to solve any exercise following the form grammatical. But before starting solving any exercise, I want you to ask yourself 3 important questions. The first one is when should I use être and when avoir? The second question is how to get the past participle. And the third one is about l'accord. And I will explain each point separately. Let's start with the first one. How can I know should I conjugate with avoir or with être? Let's take a look at la maison d'être, the house of être. Most verbs form the passé composé with avoir. However, there are small numbers of verbs which shows movement of the subject from one place to another, are always conjugated with être. As you see here, we have naître, rester, tomber, descendre, monter, and so on. If you don't know the meaning of this verb, I advise you to read this list. Devenir, passer, mourir, rentrer, sortir, venir, monter, partir, aller, naître, descendre, arriver, entrer, tomber, rester, retourner, and revenir. The 17 special verbs take être, but 6 of which can also take avoir, as will be explained in another video. So, these 17 special verbs take être. It should be pointed that any pronominal or reflexive verbs are always conjugated with the auxiliary être also, as will be explained in another video. So now you know how to choose between the verb être or the verb avoir. Let's move to the second question. Comment obtenir le participe passé? How to get the past participle? To get the past participle of regular verb is very easy. Any verb ends by er, cut the er and replace it with e accent. For example, jouer become jouer with e accent. Any verb ends by ir, cut the ir and add I. So finir become fini. Any verb ends by re, cut the re and add u. Like répondre become répondu. But there is an important note. Past participle of irregular verbs must be memorized, and the following tables display these verbs according to their endings, which will make it easier for you to memorize them. Stop the video and have a look. So now you know how to get the past participle whatever the verb is regular or irregular. Now let's move to the third and last question. It's about l'accord or agreement. After the conjugation of the verb with être and or avoir, and after obtaining the past participle of your verb, I want you to ask your last question about l'accord. So the past participle always agrees with the subject while conjugating with the auxiliary verb être only. Only with the verb être, not with avoir. So we add e to the past participle if the subject is féminin singulier. And we add s if the subject is masculin pluriel. And we add es if the subject is féminin pluriel. Let's take two examples with verb jouer and aller. If you check the list of the house of être, you will find that jouer takes avoir and aller takes être. So the first step is to write the subject. Second step is to write your auxiliary verb avoir in present. And the last step is to find the past participle. Jouer is a regular verb, that's why we cut the er and replace it with e accent. And we repeat it in each pronoun. But aller takes être, that's why we put être here. And to form the past participle, aller is a regular verb, that's why we put e accent, e accent, e accent in all pronouns. But if your subject is feminine, you should add e here to the past participle for the three first subjects. But for the last three subjects, as you see, here nous, vous, and il avec s are plural. That's why we add s, s, s. But for feminine forms, you should add es. Why here with aller we add the agreement and here no? Because aller takes être, but jouer takes avoir. No accord with avoir. Only l'accord is with être. Now let's see an exercise. If you have like this sentence, for example, la mère préparait le dîner, and you want to conjugate this verb in the passé composé. Don't forget your three questions. The verb préparer must be with être or with avoir. How to get the past participle from préparer, and is there any accord in this situation? If you check the list of the house of être, you will not find préparer there. That's why préparer must be conjugated with avoir, with the pronoun elle, so it will be a. And to answer the second question, how to get the past participle, I want you to check the table of regular verb. You will find that préparer ends by er, so cut the er and put e accent. So préparer become like this, with only e accent. The third question is about l'accord. Ask yourself, is there any accord? Here, no, there isn't any accord. Why? Because le verbe préparer takes avoir. So your sentence will be like this. La mère a préparé le dîner. Another example. La mère allait au supermarché. I want you to conjugate verb aller and passé composé. So, aller is with être or with avoir. Stop the video and check the list of the house of être to answer the first question. Check the tables how to get the past participle of any verb ends by er. And the last question, ask yourself about l'accord. You will find that aller takes être. When it's conjugated with elle, it becomes et. Aller ends by er, so you should cut it and replace it by e accent. And there is l'accord. Why? Because the verb aller is conjugated with être. And here for la mère, it's féminin singulier. That's why you should add only E. So your sentence will be like this. La mère est allée au supermarché. La mère est allée au supermarché. Our last example is la mère naître en 1980. Naître means born. So I want this verb in passé composé. It will take être, so I conjugated become a. And don't forget to get the participe passé of naître. Naître is an irregular verb, so that's why it become né. Check the tables to be sure. And because naître takes être, that's why you should add l'accord. For la mère, it's féminin singulier, so add I. So your sentence will be la mère est née en 1980. The mother was born in 1980. Our lesson will stop here. We have learned how to conjugate any verb in passé composé. Don't forget, you have many lists to memorize. I will repeat for you what's the most important things to memorize. You should memorize how to conjugate verb être and avoir in present. You should memorize the list of verb take être, and you should also memorize how to get the past participle of regular verb and irregular verb. I hope you understood this lesson. If you have any questions, write it in the comment. And if you are not subscribed in my channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now and give me thumbs up. See you next time and au revoir.